are reading Lesson 55, group reading. Elizabeth.
Gold, gold, gold. Salt, Rosa, and Tony had found a chest that had been buried on Rose Island. Salt reached inside a hole in the chest and pulled out a gold coin. The top of the chest was uncovered. A large rusty lock hung from the chest lid. Salt took his shovel and swung it hard. He hit the lock. Bits of rust flew into the air. The lock swung back and forth. Again, Salt swung at the lock, and again, bits of rust flew into the air. On the third swing, the lock fell to the ground in 2 pieces.
All right, point. Mary Ellis, what hung from the chest lid? 5.
A gold coin.
8. Alberto, the lock, yes. Simone, how did Salt remove the lock? 5.
He swung at the lock and began.
With what? What did he swing with? 5. 4.
Shovel.
Yes, good job.
Ooh,
Ida, read.
Salt wedged the scoop of his shovel under the lid of the chest and pushed down. Slowly, the lid began to move. Rosa and Tony grabbed the lid and pulled up. The lid opened. For a long moment, they stared into the chest. Nobody said a thing. Tony looked into the chest, and he felt very strange. He could hear himself breathing. In the distance were sounds of jungle birds. His eyes were fixed on what he saw inside the chest. I didn't look the way he had thought it would.
Ariana, how did they get the lid open?
He wedged the scoop of his shovel.
Yes, good job. George. Sorry. Karina, what did they say when the lid was opened? Kind of a trick question. 5.
Oh, they didn't say anything.
Yeah, good job. Nassim, did the contents of the chest look the way Tony thought it would?
No.
Good job. Alberto, read.
Tony had thought that he would see heaps of shiny gold coins and gold crowns. He had thought he would see huge bright gems that sparkled and gold drinking cups. But he saw heaps of black coins. Some of them were covered with green mold. Some of them had specks of white on them, but the most of them were black. There were 3 or 4 bugs in the chest. 2, they scrambled down between the coins when the chest was opened. Tony and Rosa said softly, "We have found the SS Foyle's treasure, and what a treasure it is."
Point. Elizabeth, name some of the things that Tony had imagined he would see in the chest.
Heaps of shiny coins and gold crowns and a huge red gem that sparkled and gold drinking cups.
Good job. Mary, what did he see?
He saw heaps of black coins.
Yes, good job. Karina, was Salt disappointed with the contents of the chest? 5.
Yeah.
And minus a point. Simone, read.
Salt was talking louder and faster. Do you have any idea how much this treasure must be worth? He picked up a large coin. How much do you think this coin is worth? $20? Tony asked. It's more like $300, Salt said. And we have hundreds and hundreds of these coins. We have thousands and thousands. We're rich. We're rich. So Salt threw his shovel into the air. Then he began to dance around the chest. He was sweating and singing. We're rich, Rosa. We're rich, Tony. Rosa joined and so did Tony. The 3 of them danced around the chest until they were dizzy.
Point. Ariana, what did Tony think one of the coins might be worth?
$20.
Yes. Nasim, what was it worth?
$300.
Yes. Ida, how many coins like that were in the chest?
There were hundreds and hundreds of the coins.
Nope. Minus a point.
Like that.
Shh. Mary.
There were thousands and thousands.
Thousands and thousands. Elizabeth, what did Tony, Rosa, and Salt do at the end of this part?
The three of them danced around the chest until they were dizzy.
Yes. Karina, read.
Tony sat down on the damp ground. Salt was breathing hard. He said, "Now comes the real job of getting the gold out of here." "The chest doesn't look very big," Rosa said. "The three of us could probably carry it." Salt laughed. Then he said, "Let me show you something." He walked to the place where the rope and the other tools were stacked. He picked up a small burlap sack and walked back to the chest. Then he began to fill the sack. When it was full, he handed the sack to Rosa. "Here," Salt said, "see how much a couple of handfuls of gold weighs."
Point. Simone. Salt told them about their next job. What was that?
Getting gold?
What about the gold? What about getting the gold? There's one little part you're missing. 5, 4, 3. What?
Carry the gold?
Yes. Carry the gold out. Yes. Nasim. Why didn't Rosa think it would be hard? Why didn't Rosa think it would be a hard job?
It just didn't look very big.
Yes. Point. Last question. What did Salt do to show? Ooh. Ida. What did Salt do to show how much gold weighs?
He said, "Let me show you something." He walked to the place where the rope and the other tools were stacked. He picked up a small burlap sack and walked back to the chest. Then he began to fill the sack. When it was full, he handed the sack to Rosa. She said, "See how much a couple of handfuls of gold will weigh?"
Yes. Good job. That whole thing. Good job. Ariana, read. You get the point though.
When Rosa grabbed the sack, she almost fell over. The sack seemed to pull her to the ground. "Wow," she said, "that sack must weigh 50 pounds. "Let me see," Tony said. He grabbed the sack. It was much smaller than the rocks he and Rosa had moved from the pile, but it seemed to weigh as much as most of them. "Wow," Tony said, "you're right. This stuff weighs more than iron." Saul said, "Yes, gold is much heavier than iron. There aren't many things in this world that weigh as much as gold."
Good point. Alberto, which was heavier, the large rocks that Tony moved or the small bag of gold?
Small bag of gold.
Good job. Point. Karina, which is heavier, iron or gold?
Gold.
Good job. Mary Alice, read.
Rosa asked, "Well, how are we going to get the gold out of here?" Salt said, "A little bit at a time. We'll just have to make a lot of trips back to the boat. We'll fit the burlap sacks we brought with us and carry them back to the boat. And we better get started right now." Salt went back to the tool pile and came back with 3 burlap sacks. He said, now don't try to fill these sacks all the way, or we won't be able to carry them. Fill them about 2/3 of the way to the top."
Nasim, what was the plan for removing the gold?
They'll have to make a lot of trips back. Or they'll fill the burlap sack and they'll carry them back and forth on the boat.
How far will they fill the burlap sacks?
About 2/3 of the way
Yes.
to the top.
Good job. You already read, right? Elizabeth already read. I dropped you on the floor. Ida already read. Simone already read. Ariana, did you read? Who hasn't read? Nasim? Oh, Nasim, you read. And then we'll start all over.
Soon 3 sacks were filled. Then Saul cut 3 pieces of rope. Each piece was about 9 feet long. Then Saul took a piece of rope. He tied both ends around the neck of a sack. Then he looped the rope over one shoulder and around his waist. Saul began to walk. The sack dragged along the ground. "Let's try it this way," Saul said. "I think we won't get as tired if we drag the bags instead of trying to carry them." So Tony tied a piece of rope around a sack. So did Rosa. Then they all began to walk through the jungle back to the boat.
Good job. Point. Elizabeth, how were they going to transport the bags to the boat?
Oh. They tied a piece of rope around the sack and they dragged it in the jungle.
Yep, good job. Alberto, were they going downhill or uphill?
They were going
5, 4, 3, 2.
uphill.
Nope. They were going downhill. Alrighty, that's it. You guys can start working on lesson 56. Take a couple minutes and then we'll move on.